What's up, YouTube? This is going to be our Yellowstone Season 4 prediction video. Now, while it is a prediction video, I am going to tell you a little bit of the things that I did not like about Season 3, and I hope they do not continue in Season 4. My biggest complaint about Season 3 was I felt like the whole mercenary thing when it come to, of course, in Season 2 you had the Beck brothers, and then you have, this, company coming in and hiring mercenaries to take out the Duttons. I feel like that was a little bit repetitive. It really felt uncalled for in a very, in a show that is basically founded in a world where it's basically old versus new. It is Kevin Costner and that Dutton family trying to hold on to what is theirs and what has been in their family for over 100 years. And then it's the world trying to take everything that they've got. But the whole, them taking it by government forces or Indian reservations, those things make more sense. Adding mercenaries to the whole situation, I didn't like it with Season 2. I didn't like it in Season 3 either. I wish they would have left that out. So to me, the whole thing of where, are they going to live? Are they going to die? That felt unnecessary to me. No doubt in my mind, all of them live. No doubt. All of them live. Casey, Beth, John, all of them live. They're all going to be back. There's really no point in killing them off. There's really just no point. Because if you kill off, Casey, then what are you going to do, with what's her name, Monica? What are you going to do with Monica's situation? What are you going to do with Tate? That would be so unnecessary and something that they wouldn't be able to really handle in a 10-episode season. The death of him. We've already seen a death of one of the brothers. I don't think we'll see another one. Another one is Beth. Beth, you could tell in Season 3 that they accelerated that relationship for one reason or another. Kind of shocked me that they would do it to the point where that she would die. I expected it to be Rip more than her. And if it would have been Rip that was more in danger, I would have said, you know what? Maybe he does die. Maybe that's the thing that sets her off. But I don't see them keeping Rip but taking her off. I just don't see that. Now, probably one of the other bigger gripes that I had with Season 3 was the fact that the whole abortion thing with Beth. Look, in Season 1 and Season 2, we had seen that Beth and Jamie have some kind of a hate relationship with each other. Or at least Beth hates him. Now, for a long time, they kind of made it seem like it had to do with her mother. How he was resentful to her about what happened to their mother. That felt like that was leading up to that. And then halfway through last season, they gave us this shocker where that he's actually behind her having a hysterectomy after she goes to get after she comes to him for help to try to get an abortion. And that's the reason why she hates him. I feel like if you were going to go down that road, I feel like you should have done that in Season 1. Not done the whole thing with the mom. Because it's weird, it hadn't been brought up in 2 seasons, and then Season 3, it plays a huge role. It plays a role with Beth and Rip. It plays a role with Beth and Jamie. And then she's constantly in Season 3 bringing this up to him. This doesn't. It felt out of place. It didn't feel like it belonged in a lot of ways. Like I said, I'm okay with the story of it. I'm just not okay with where they placed it in the story. Season 3 a little too far into it to be dropping bombshells like that. That's the way I look at it. And what's going to happen when Rip finds out that Jamie's behind that? What's going to happen? I mean, he's going to be pissed. Or is he going to be pissed that she lied to him about that being his kid and aborting it? Like, who is he going to be more mad about? I feel like if they would have Beth would have brought that out more right before, this bomb exploded and her death is left in doubt. If she would have brought that up and then her and Rip would have got into it or something along those lines, I felt like that would have been a little bit more powerful of a situation at that point. That being said, let's just go ahead. Let's get into season 4 expectations on things. Let's start off with Beth, since we already talked about it. I believe Beth's going to live. Her and Rip are going to continue their relationship. I do believe that sometimes she's got to come clean and tell him about the child that she aborted, that she never told him about. I feel like he deserved that. I feel like that should have been a bigger part of season 3, simply because he doesn't have any children. He wants to marry her. She's got all these secrets, especially with them, of the reasons why she hasn't been with him. And then all of a sudden, they bring that out, and they never really talk about it that much between him and her from that point on. So I think that's going to be more explored in the upcoming season, or at least I hope it is. She's going to have a recovery period. But I think all in all, Rip and Beth are going to be together to carry on John's legacy. And that's just my view on it. Rip is the son that John needed. He's loyal to a T. He loves the ranch as much as what John loves the ranch. He is the guy that should take over the ranch from this point on. That's just the way I look at it. Casey. Now, if we're going to him, the Casey and Monica situation just needs to stop. Look, I have never been a fan of Monica. I've never been a fan of her. I felt like she is a useless character. At first, I thought it was going to be, in season 1, that she was going to, her, of course, affiliation with the Native American tribe, and, the conflict between them and the Duttons was going to be the main story arc. And then it turned into something completely different. Then it turned into her just not trusting him and her not wanting him to be around the Dutton family anyways. And it really had nothing to do with the conflict between, the Native American tribe and, the Duttons in general. So I just kind of felt like just her not wanting to be with him and wanting to be with him and afraid he's going to turn into his father and all of this other kind of stuff I thought was completely and totally pointless. I think the show would be far better off if they left her off. That's the way I look at it. Now, as far as Casey's another one I believe is going to live. I expect more conflict between him and Monica as she becomes closer and closer with Thomas Rainwater. She's going to have more to do with the tribe. It feels like, to a certain extent, if there's one person at the end of this show that could possibly die, that is of the siblings that are remaining, Casey could be one I could see that leaves, because it feels like Monica is constantly in the in-between her tribe and him. And I don't think she can have it both ways throughout this show. Seems like she's kind of been going back and forth. But I think at the end of the day, she falls more towards, being with the, Thomas Rainwater and helping out her, the Native Americans, basically take the Dutton land. I feel like she's more inclined to that than to fight against it. That's just the way I look. I don't think she's conflicted. I think Casey's conflicted because he loves her, and I think he would go even against his father if that meant pleasing her in a lot of ways. I'm just glad that so far she hasn't really asked him to do that. But I do expect that in season 4. I expect there to be that conflict where that she finally comes to this conclusion. The land has to be taken, and it needs to go to, the Native Americans. That's the way I look at it. I look at that being the conflict. I do not see, but I don't believe Casey's going to die this season. I don't believe he died last season. I think his fate overall is questioned because I don't see Monica being cool living on the Yellowstone ranch with Casey. I don't see that happening. I think Casey has to go in that regard. Casey, I feel like, has to go so that Rip can move in as that son-like figure to take over that ranch and to start it anew. That's just the way I look at it when it comes to him. Now, as far as John is concerned, John is by far my favorite character on this show. Now, I've enjoyed Beth too. I really have enjoyed Beth. I would have enjoyed Casey, I feel like, a lot more if I wasn't so against Monica in so many different ways. I just feel like the conflict between him and Monica feels like the conflict between Jax and Tara in a lot of different ways. I feel like, from Sons of Anarchy, which just annoys the crap out of me because that's all I see is Tara when I look at her. Simply put, just Tara causing trouble for literally no reasons at all. But as far as John is concerned, John's going to live. John's going to live. Kevin Costner is going to be back. He makes this show. You take Kevin Costner off, Casey doesn't hold it. Rip doesn't hold it. Jamie doesn't hold it. None of those. Beth doesn't hold it. None of this show cannot survive. I believe in my heart of hearts without John. Without Kevin Costner, this show just doesn't go on. Just doesn't. He is the patriarch of the family. He is the main reason that is holding all of this together. Beth doesn't care if the Yellowstone is taken or sold. Jamie doesn't care. Casey doesn't care. None of them care to fight for the Yellowstone. Rip is the only one that cares, but even his alliance with Beth and his love for Beth would make him give it up for her. So there's no one there to fight for Yellowstone without him. So you can't have Yellowstone and all the conflict that goes without John. Just cannot. You just cannot have that. So yeah, he's definitely going to be back. There's no doubt in my mind, him and Rourke. Rourke, I feel like, is going to be the guy that has to be taken out. Now, whether or not he's the main villain that gets taken out, whether Willia Hayes, the CEO of Market Equities, whether or not she is allowed to live after this season, I don't know. I feel like Willia Hayes has a greater possibility of survival simply because of her kind of back and forth with Beth. I feel like there's more reasons for her to survive than for Rourke. I feel like Rourke, bringing in those cowboys that John hated, causing all the problems that happened. I just feel like there's no way he's surviving. I say he dies. I say Rourke dies by halfway through the season. That's just the way I look at it when it comes to that. Now, as far as Jamie is concerned, Jamie is a character I don't hate Jamie. But if there's one thing that Yellowstone has done a terrible job at, it's been one of those shows that it tells you who you should hate and who you should like. Because it's going to make you hate Jamie. Even though, season 1, season 2, you could say, well, he's done some things, but they're not that big. But when you had Beth constantly in there, you're terrible, you're a traitor, you're this, you're that, when he really hadn't even done anything at that point, then it just kind of makes me go, okay, they were pushing the whole Jamie being the main villain of it, and that's just what it is. Jamie having a child now, being in the situation that he is, when it involves his political career, he's looking, and then finding out that he was adopted, he has literally no reason to be with the Duttons in any form or fashion. Now, it brings up the question when talking about Jamie, who was behind the people trying to kill the Duttons? The mercenaries that were trying to kill the Duttons. Was it William Hayes? Was it Rourke? Or was it Jamie? Now, when I watched the end of season 3, I thought Jamie. Jamie, without a doubt. When Rip calls him, Jamie tells him, I don't think you should talk to me anymore, and all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, him going to his father, and his father is saying, you got to take it. Kill the king, basically, and take what is yours. I thought, without a doubt, it had to be with him. It had to be Jamie. But that being said, Jamie has a lot of problems when it comes to Beth. When it comes to his father. I don't believe he would have gone and tried to kill Casey, though. I really don't. Because there's that one scene last season where he goes and he asks Casey if he can still call him brother. And Casey says, of course, we're always going to be brothers. There's that just that one scene alone just makes me go, he wouldn't kill Casey. He wouldn't have done that. It just wouldn't have been in his nature to have done that. He has no reason to kill Casey. You could say, well, it was so he could inherit everything of John's, and true, that could be the case. But that being said, even if it all went to Casey, Casey would have gladly have given all of it up to be with Monica. He would not have any need of the Yellowstone or any will to have the Yellowstone. So I don't believe that Casey would have stood in Jamie's way. So Casey, I don't believe, is the one responsible for it. I don't also believe Rourke is responsible for it. I do believe William Hayes is the one that is behind the mercenaries trying to take out the Duttons. She profits the most from it. Rourke profits and because he's had animosity towards Beth, but it doesn't seem like he really truly wanted to kill her. That doesn't seem to be what he's about. William Hayes, on the other hand, has the money. She has the willpower to want to do it and the mindset to do something like that. So I do believe she's the one that is behind that. Now, as far as Jimmy and Maya are concerned, I believe Jimmy, of course, he had that little accident. He fell off that horse. People are wondering, is he alive? Is he dead? I believe he's still alive. Whether or not he's with Maya or not, I don't believe his relationship with Maya is going to continue this year. I just don't believe that for 1 second. I think that relationship is over. Now, as far as Jimmy as a whole, I think he is eventually going to break away from Yellowstone. I do believe that. Now, as far as Thomas Rainwater is concerned, I I personally don't believe he's going to have a huge role when it comes to Yellowstone next season. And by that, I think he's going to play a role when it comes to Monica. But I don't think he's going to have a huge role when it comes to, the fight against market equities. Thomas is going to survive. He's going to carry on his fight against John. I do believe that. I do believe, at least for season 4, they will be temporary allies simply because they sort of want the same thing. They don't want progress. They want to take back what is, of course, John wants to take back his land and keep it in his family. And Thomas Rainwater wants to take it for his people. So I believe that they'll at least be temporary allies when it comes to that. Now, I've already touched on Rourke. I believe Rourke is, I think he is going to probably die halfway through the season. I really do. I think John's going to have it out for him. And I think he's going to be the first one that you're going to see go down in season 4. But overall, guys, let me know what y'all think. Are y'all excited for season 4? What do y'all expect from it the most? Do you think any of the Duttons have died or are going to die? Who do you think is going to be the main antagonist of next season? Let me know what you think down below. And as always, guys, if you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe. That is the only way on YouTube that you can survive as a content creator, is to like and subscribe our videos. So if you love what we do here on Rants or Us, please do that. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Y'all take care.